Subscribe to Gizmo Times and get notified about our latest videos by hitting the bell icon.
Hey guys, welcome to Gizmo Times. So this is Chetan and this is the OnePlus 7 Pro, and we are continuing the series of tips and tricks. The first series video was about the gesture features and the buttons. How can you set them up and how can you make your user experience better by changing all these things. Now this is the part 2, and we talk about the gaming experience and the betterment of it actually. So the OnePlus 7 Pro comes with the Snapdragon 855 chipset and one of the best GPUs around in the market. So obviously the gaming performance should be one of the best, but how can you make it better? Firstly, we'll start with the display settings that you can change. And there are games like PUBG Mobile that still don't have the support for the 90 Hz display that this phone has got. So it has a 90 Hz refresh rate, but PUBG Mobile still is at 60 FPS. But there are quite a lot of other games that you can try out in case you want to check out how good the 90 Hz experience is. But for that, you need to once start the game and then go to this display settings. Here you see the screen refresh rate, which is 60 and 90. So it's better to change it to 90 when you're trying to play those games that have a support for the 90 FPS or the better refresh rate. And the next one is about the resolution. Here we have set it to 60 and Full HD Plus because whenever I'm playing the game, I'd switch it to rather QHD Plus, though it would drain a lot of battery, but the experience is actually better there. And there's also the auto switch, switch to appropriate resolution automatically. I'd not go to auto switch because I've seen the display to tend down to Full HD Plus when you are playing games because the battery drain is more and the phone would want to save some battery for you, and that is when it would go to auto switch and Full HD Plus. But in case you are someone who wants to play the games with the best of the experience of the display, you'll have to switch it to the QHD Plus resolution. So these are the two things in the display settings that you can change. There's also this screen calibration where you can change it to vivid natural or the advanced, where advanced you can go to cold or warm. So the warmth can be increased or reduced. Again, this totally depends on whether you want it to be better than what you are already liking. So I have kept it to vivid because that gives it all the natural colors and the look and feel. Now moving on to the actual gaming experience, not just the display, but how can you enhance the gaming experience? It's through the utilities and gaming mode. So we've talked about the gaming mode earlier in one of our videos. A dedicated video was there, but there are a few things that we want to again refresh here in case you are someone who wants to play a lot of games on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Get into the gaming mode, and these are the different settings. First one is answer calls via speaker. So this is one thing that I would rather have turned off, because in case you are someone using earphones, you can anyway take a call on the earphones and don't want speaker. And one reason for that is, anyway, if you are talking on the speaker, the game sound is reduced to zero, and it's only the call sound that you get to hear. So rather I would not take a call when I'm playing the game, so route incoming calls to speaker when gaming mode is turned on. So it depends on your personal preference. Next is how to show notifications. You can have it completely blocked, or there's a text only on the top, or there's also this heads up. So it is one of those areas that would highlight there, but I would keep the notification blocked so that there's minimal disturbance. There's notification for third-party calls. These are calls from Facebook, WhatsApp, any video or voice call that you can have turned off here. And disable automatic brightness, something that had earlier talked as well. Automatic brightness is annoying when you're playing a game because you don't want the display to keep changing its brightness all the time. When you're playing a game, you need the same brightness levels, so you can turn that off here and disable it. And there's also gaming display enhancement. So enhance the details of light and dark part of the gaming display. Again, this is in games like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, because that is where you want the darker areas to be actually visible enough to see if there are enemies to shoot at. And there's haptic feedback enhancement as well for the supported games. So this is for supported games. PUBG Mobile is supported here, and you can have the haptic feedback enhancement in case you want some feedback while shooting or when you get shot by someone. But one thing that you have to note here is that this would drain quite a lot of battery. So I have kept it turned off. It totally depends on you whether you want it or not. Next is one important, very important update that OnePlus had sent later. That's the Fnatic mode. Fnatic mode is one of the best that you can see for any gaming modes in the smartphone market right now. Because this does not just do the regular stuff of do not disturb or keeping everything turned off. These are the three things that it would do. First is advanced D&D, where it would block all the notifications and calls. So alarm would anyway work, timer would work, and missed calls may not be saved in call logs. So that is how aggressive this is. It's an do not disturb mode, but it would be blocking everything so that you get to play your game and have nothing else around at that time. There's the process regulator enhancement as well. So this is focusing performance almost entirely towards the gameplay. This may result in glitches in some apps. This is for those apps that work in the background and would take some of the processing power. And Fnatic mode, what it does is it would actually give all the power, all the processing power, all the GPU power to the game and nothing else. Third one is the network enhancement, where two or three things happen. Firstly, with all the data that is being consumed by the phone, that is directly directed to the game, and nothing else would get the data. Also, the secondary SIM card. If you're using two SIM cards in this phone, the secondary SIM card would be disabled. There won't be any calls coming there, and everything would be turned off. The secondary SIM card would actually be dead at that time when you're having the Fnatic mode turned on. But Fnatic mode, how do you turn this on? So there's a way of turning this on. You can't turn it on directly. Unlike gaming mode turns on whenever you play or you start any game. From there you have to go to turn on the Fnatic mode. So let me start the PUBG Mobile game once, and this is how it would show up as the gaming mode. So this is gaming mode, and you have CPU optimized, GPU optimized, and the RAM optimized. So these things happen here, but that's not important. What is important here is the Fnatic mode. Once you turn this on, that is where it would block all the notification call, restrict the background to boost your game, stop the secondary SIM to enhance your network. So got it. And it has these advanced features added now: advanced DND, enhanced process regulator, and network enhancement. So everything that is given to the phone now, and there is nothing given to the background applications, though. Yeah, it does matter to some of the apps. In case you want the emails to keep coming in the background, that won't happen because everything is blocked here. And you can anyway go here and go to the gaming mode and turn off the Fnatic mode. So if you tap on this, it would turn on the Fnatic mode, and tap on gaming mode, it would turn off the Fnatic mode. So that is one way of doing it. And a Fnatic mode is actually really helpful for games like PUBG Mobile, where you have the live gaming. For someone who can play and pause the games, for the offline games, you don't have to really turn on that mode. But for games like PUBG Mobile, COD, where you have actual live players around you and you don't want to miss out on anything, that is where Fnatic mode would actually help quite a lot. Now, next, moving on to one feature that OnePlus has this time offered, and that is really helpful for people. That's the screen recorder. Screen recorder was earlier there as well. It would do the screen recording, but earlier it didn't record the in-game sounds. In-game sound recording is what people are actually really mad about, because when you're recording something like a gameplay, you want the shooting sound or the walk sound, everything to be recorded, and by default Android does not allow the in-game recording, and it is only on OEMs to offer that. So OnePlus has done that. Asus had offered that on the ROG phone. So this is the screen recorder. It would show up here as a small bar. This happens when you're even on the game, and if you go to the settings of that, now these are the different settings of it. And there was one thing that we again missed about the screen recorder earlier, was about the audio source. You can choose the audio source of internal audio or the microphone audio. So this is one disadvantage, but OnePlus cannot do anything about it. It's just that it has to be either this way or that way. So you can record either the internal audio, that's the game audio, or the microphone audio. So you can turn off the in-game audio in case you want to record the game and want to talk while recording the game. You have to choose the microphone option. Or if you don't want to talk, and that's fine, you can add your voice later. You can have the internal audio turned on, and you can change the bitrate here. You can change the resolution. There's a higher resolution of 2340 into 1080, which would give it the resolution of this phone, but it's better to choose this one for the YouTube videos, for the Facebook videos. And the video orientation can be on auto mode. And touch operation, this is where it would show the dots, the touch wherever you're touching it, but that actually was a bit more annoying when you play games like PUBG Mobile, because you keep touching on the phone screen all the time, and you don't want to show that. And pause recording when the screen is off. So you can pause recording whenever the screen is off. That is one way of one extra feature in the screen recorder. So these are the different things. There were questions asked about the screen recorder, whether it would record both the audio as well as the in-game audio and your mic audio. That does not happen. So in case you're playing a squad game and there are people with you who are talking to you, everything of that would be recorded. But if you are turning on the mic, the in-game audio would be turned off, and it would be your voice that will be recorded only if you change the audio source. Again, that won't record if you turn on the mic, and it would go completely blank. No in-game audio, no microphone audio if you don't change the setting here. So you have to take care of that. It's very important to understand the gaming recording on this OnePlus 7 Pro, because the screen recorder still has its own limitations. You can't record everything. You can't record your mic plus in-game audio, but that's fine. At least you have the in-game audio in this one. And the last one to enhance your gaming experience is by boosting the RAM. One feature that most of you would miss out is under the system settings. If you go to the system settings, you have the option of RAM boost. So RAM boost is where it would increase the RAM utilization according to your usage. By learning how you use phone, RAM boost can predict apps you want to launch and data to load, taking full advantage of the RAM capacity to speed up the performance of your daily usage. So when I earlier was using PUBG Mobile, it did not it did not load up very quickly. But nowadays, with the enabling of RAM boost, what happens is PUBG Mobile actually loads up quite fast. So I'll give you a quick demo. If you are someone who already has played this game quite a lot, you know that it would take some time for the game to load up. But here we have noticed that the PUBG Mobile loads up quite fast, and that is because of the RAM boost. The phone actually knows that I'll be playing this game very often, and that is why it would keep it as a priority and start it quite fast. So that is the RAM boost on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and that was the last feature or the last thing that you would want to do to enhance your gaming experience. So there is that gaming mode, there are those settings under the display that you can use, and there is the Fnatic mode as well. And the RAM management or the RAM booster is what you would want to use for the enhanced gaming experience on the OnePlus 7 Pro smartphone. So I hope you like this video, and keep checking out for the entire series of the tips and tricks of OnePlus 7 Pro. If you have a OnePlus 7 Pro and want to enhance your gaming experience or your entire experience of the smartphone, and do subscribe to Gizmo Times for more. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.